Texturing PS1 assets inside of Blender can be extremely time consuming, especially if you're going to be working on a large amount of assets for something like an environment or big project. So let me show you the lazy way to texture almost any PS1 asset inside of Blender. Let's just hop straight in. Step one of what we're going to need to do is grab an image that we can use as a base for our texture. Now, you could go and actually take your own image with your phone. This is not going to be needing a super high resolution image, or we can go find some images that are royalty free. And if you go to a site like Pexels, they're all free images built right in. So for example, if you're going to be doing something like a building, you could do there all sorts of stuff, like if you want to get some wood or anything like that. So the ideal ones are going to be something like this, which doesn't have a huge amount of perspective, but you can also grab something with more perspective, and I'll show you the easy way to sort that out inside of Blender. Okay, step two, now inside of Blender, I'm going to take the cube, delete it, X delete, and I'm just going to add in a plane like this. Now I'm going to go over to the material tab, click new, and then I can go name this whatever, texture, doesn't even matter. Cool. Now let's just change this over to a shader editor. I'm going to go Shift A, add a search image texture, add it in, drag color to base color, and now we can go open and find our image. So I'm going to start out with the example of the image that has a lot of perspective. So what we're going to have to do is split our scene in half like this. Then we're going to go open a image editor. Cool. Over here, we can go over drop down, grab our image, and you can see over here. Actually, what I'm going to change this to the UV editor, and I can press tab, and now the image in our 3D viewport. And if you want to see that image or that plane, we can split this vertically and then change this bottom one to a 3D viewport. And you'll see now we have this over here. So as you can see, these do not match up in terms of the aspect. So I'm going to go click U, and that will U unwrap. And you can see now it's more of the correct size. And now what we can do, if we want, we could like scale this to whatever size we wanted. But for now, we can just go shake this, and then I'm going to just grab the like corners and try line up the perspective itself. I'm just going to use this. This is quite a useful bit. And then from here, we can actually scale this image up. So I'm just going to try grab a square bit. If you have something else, you can obviously go into a smaller section, and you see now we have this lined up. And if we want to like check it out, we can just scroll across, go to the rendered view or the material preview, and then check how straight of an image we have. Okay, now that I have that, I can now select it and then scale it up, and then we have these set up. This can help us see if it's like better, if it's lined up correctly. So you can see as well, like if I go here, this doesn't look that correct, but we can also just go reline this up. Let's try just do it like this, and this will leave us with a slightly stretched image. We can just scale our object inside of edit mode. Now, if you have a little bit of texture warping, you can also just go add a couple edge loops, and you'll see that helps do it. You can also add a subdivision surface modifier, but you can see that went and helped quite a lot with keeping it more consistent. Now that we fixed the perspective warping, how do we continue? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my render engine, changes to cycles. Then I'm going to scroll down to the bake settings. Before I do that, I'm just going to go Shift A, add another image texture. And here's where you're going to decide the resolution of the image that we're going to use. So I'm going to go just add a new image, and I'm going to make this something like 64 by 64. And then I can click new, or we can give it a name. So I'm going to call it like building one, or build, click new image. Cool. And then what we have to do is actually go make another UV for this. So I'm going to take this and just go to the vertex properties over here, UV image, click new, and then this is going to be non-distorted. And then from here, we can go click on the camera icon, and I'm just going to click U and unwrap again. So now we have a normal thing. So we can call this one distorted. And then from here, we can just take these, we go Shift A, search UV input, UV map, drag that in and click on distorted, and then duplicate this and then change it to non-distorted. Cool. So now we have our new image that we're going to bake it to, and this one is on the non-distorted UVs. So we'll have it just normal, and then this one will be on the, like this is the one getting our source image. What we want to do is we want to have our non-distorted one previewed, and then that's what's going to decide what it bakes to. Select our image like this, and then we can go to our camera icon, scroll down to the bake settings, And I'm going to not use combine. I'm going to use just the diffuse. Then I'm going to turn off direct and indirect so that we just have the base color. And we can go here to bake and click bake. Okay, and you see there we have our image baked. Now, I think this is probably a little bit too low res. So what I'm actually going to do is just click on this, remove, click new, and let's make this something like 124 or 128, or like maybe we can go 256. Cool, click a new image, and then we can just select it, go down to bake again. Okay, and there we go. So we've got a image working here. By the way, if you're learning a lot in this video and you want to learn how to make your own PS1 style art, especially PS1 style characters, then check out the first link in the description to check out my entire PS1 character guide. Back to the video. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and go image, save as, give it a name, save. Okay, and here is the free tool that I use to help me make my pixelated textures look a lot cooler. So I'm going to click over here. This will be linked down below, by the way. I'm going to click over here. I'm going to grab my image, and then once we have it in here, we can just go set auto detect, and you can see now it's set here, and then we can change the dither type. We can also change the color palette, which is pretty cool. So if we go through and click on any of these, you'll see kind of the colors that it's going to go choose from. So yeah, let me just click a random one, and then we have this dither type. So you can click on it, run it, and then you'll see how it's going to change, and you can change it for each image. So over here, we can go click pixelate, and you can see what it's done to this image. And this actually looks really cool. Now, just remember that if you're going to do something like this, you're going to actually have to remember what settings you use so that you can do it to multiple textures. You can also change how strong this like different patterns is. Okay, and I think if you turn this toggle on up here, it sees auto refresh. I don't think you can actually run without the color palette, but I guess you can change it to none. No. Cool. But yeah, basically you can see how cool of effects we can do, and you can give yourself quite a unique looking thing pretty easily throughout doing this. And if you wanted to like actually make it more customized, you can also go add your own color palette or upload another palette through here. Once you are happy with what you've got, you can click the download button, and you see download to this image. Now we can hop back over to Blender, and we can just take this and then just go open, grab our image, and then Control-Shift left click, and now we are previewing this image over here. Now, currently, you can see it is blurred, so it depends on if you want it or not like this, but basically we can go linear, go to closest, and there we go. Now we have this. All right, and this is pretty useful because you can basically decide where you want each bit to be mapped. So if you're making a whole model and want to like map multiple textures to it, you can easily do that. Or you could just take the image like this and go and actually paint on top of it. But now that you have this, you have an image that you can fully customize. Like once you've done this, you don't have to stick with this. You can take it, start picking colors, especially if you want to change any of the colors. You or just like take it there. You can take the color, and then now you can just like go update a couple of the things, etc., etc. So now you've learned my lazy way to texture basically anything inside of Blender. By the way, if you want to learn how to make PS1 characters inside of Blender step by step, click this video right now.